Hi guys, welcome to another video. Hope you're all keeping well. Now this is going to be another Blu-ray review because I want to talk about a movie, one of my all-time favourites, horror movies actually, which I watched just the other night. Thoroughly enjoyed as usual. It's got a great stellar cast including Peter Cushing, Donald Sutherland, Roy Castle, Christopher Lee. It's an Amicus portmanteau movie, the very first venture actually for Amicus into the portmanteau field, and that is a movie called Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. Yeah, so as I say, I watched this the other night and absolutely bowled over by the picture quality on this release, guys. It's fantastic, yeah. Got a great selection of special features, yeah, including all new interviews with Kenny Lynch and Anne Bell, Jeremy Kemp, House of Cards documentary, gallery of images, courtesy of Stephen Jones. Original theatrical trailer contains double-sided fold-out artwork posted by Graham Humphrey and a film guide booklet. So I'll just show you inside, guys. Yeah, this is the best edition of this movie I've ever had. So there's the booklet. And there's Peter Cushing there as Dr. Shrek, also known as Dr. Terror. There you go. Stills of them all on the train. Fantastic, yeah. One of the greatest portmanteau movies ever made, in my opinion, Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. And this is the best, truly the best edition I've ever owned. It really is, yeah. Go, some great stills from the stories, guys. Yeah, so I'm really made up with this, and you get a nice poster as well, guys. I'll just show you the poster. It's a double-sided poster actually, so this is the side. Fantastic. Peter Cushing looking very sinister there as the sinister Dr. Shrek. There you go. So yeah, fantastic release by Fremantle Media. What I'm going to do now, guys, as per usual, if you're not familiar with the movie, I'll just read you the blurb at the back just to give you some idea of what to expect if you decide to get it for yourselves. Okay, right. Dr. Terror foretells the future, and 5 men wish he hadn't. How's about that for an introduction? Dr. Terror, Peter Cushing, is a mysterious fortune teller who boards a train to tell fellow passengers Christopher Lee, Roy Castle, Donald Sutherland, Alan Freeman their fortune with tarot cards. 5 possible futures unfold. An architect returns to his ancestral home to find a werewolf out for revenge. A huge flesh-eating vine takes over a house. A musician gets involved with voodoo. An art critic is pursued by a disembodied hand. My favourite segment starring the late great Christopher Lee. And a doctor discovers his new wife is a vampire. But they all end in the same result: death. A fascinating and fast-paced example of portmanteau filmmaking with a deadly twist in the tale. So there you go, guys. That's the synopsis for the 1964 Amicus portmanteau classic, Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. Okay then, guys, on to my thoughts now on the movie as a whole. Oh, what can I say about this movie? Absolutely top-class movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it from start to finish. There's only one teensy-weensy little weakness in the movie, in my opinion, and that's the story involving Alan Freeman and the murderous plants, where the plants sort of like it's excuse me. It's very reminiscent of Day of the Triffids. This sort of like plant develops a life of its own, and it basically crawls all over his house and traps him inside and that. But that's the weakest episode. But other than that, all the other stories were fantastic. I love the one with Roy Castle in, the trumpeter, where he nicks the voodoo music and that, with disastrous results. The guy that goes back home to his ancestral abode and encounters werewolves, and of course the Christopher Lee one, where Christopher Lee plays the pompous art critic and that, criticising Michael Gopp's work and that, and the great Donald Sutherland one, where his wife's a vampire. Yeah, fantastic one, this, guys, it really is. And as I say, this was Amicus's first venture into the genre, the portmanteau genre. And Peter Cushing, he is fantastic as in the role of Dr. Shrek, alias Dr. Terror. he just comes on the plane. Sorry, not the plane. He just boards the train where these guys are all sitting there, these 5 guys and that, you know, and he says like he quotes a line there. It's very reminiscent of the old Dead of Night movie, where the bus conductor says, "Room for one more inside, sir." He says a room. I'm sure there's. He says something along the lines of, I'm sure there's room for one more inside. So that's like a kind of a little nod to the Dead of Night, you know, the Dead of Night classic from 1945. Oh, but yeah, I'm really made up with this edition, guys. Yeah, lovely picture quality, the best this movie's ever looked, and all the stories are great. Well, except for the Alan Freeman one, that was the weakest one. But oh yeah, had me grip from start to finish, and I never get tired of watching this movie. Just like as is the case with all the Amicus horror anthology movies, you know, it's like Peter Cushing, you know, oh, he's fantastic in it, you know, this sinister Dr. Shrek with his tarot cards and that. And of course, all the guys are very cynical at first, like when he starts there, Peter Cushing, he starts going on about like the power of the cards and that, you know, and especially Christopher Lee, he looks down his nose and that, he's very pompous and he gets it up on that, you know, but always this story horrifying Christopher Lee's, you know, where he plays the art critic and that, and the crawling hand, it was very reminiscent of the Beast with 5 fingers, you know. Yeah, so as I say, and then the other stories as well, the Donald Sutherland one with his wife is a vampire, great twist to that one, and the guy that goes home, you know, to his ancestral home, encounters werewolves, and oh yeah, fantastic. I've got the inside, guys, the booklet touches on each of the segments in a few paragraphs actually. Yeah, werewolf one, yeah, the creeping vine, the voodoo one with Roy Castle, disembodied hand, and the vampire. Yeah, it says a little bit about each story and that, you know, it tells you basically like a synopsis really. So as I say, if you get this edition and you get the booklets, packed absolute mine of information about the movie, and you'll find in the extras, you'll get like Jonathan Rigby. He's done a very good interview saying all about the movie and that, you know, and he's actually he's mentioned a couple of things that even I didn't know about, you know, relating to this movie, you know, some interesting facts and that. Love the Kenny Lynch interview and the interview with the girl who played what's her name's wife, Alan Freeman's wife, Anne Bell, and Jeremy Kemp. Yeah, great interviews and a great documentary, as I say. And if you love your horror anthology movies, guys, you've got to have this one in your collection. It's a great movie, you know, and very, very spooky, you know, especially the end and that, you know. I won't tell you what the end is, you know, I'll let you, you know, I don't want to spoil it for you. But yeah, excellent performances all around by this stellar cast, you know, of great British actors. And interesting little fact for you in regards to the Roy Castle one, the voodoo one. It was originally sort of like decided that Acabilk would play the role of Roy Castle, you know, the trumpet player who was after the voodoo music. But as I say, I don't know what happened. Like something happened, and Acabilk he couldn't make it, something like that. Anyway, so he slotted Roy Castle in. Yeah, oh, it's a great story that, especially when he's in the nightclub. You know, he's starting to play the music, and you get this sort of like mysterious gust of wind blowing everything and that, you know. And yeah, the creepy werewolf one, you know, where the guy goes back to his ancestral homestead. But yeah, they're all good stories, guys. As I say, the Alan Freeman one was, and even that was good in its own way, but it was the weakest of the. It was the weakest of the 5 stories, in my opinion. Yeah. All right then, guys. On to a rating now for Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. No hesitation whatsoever. A full 10 out of 10 for this classic Amicus portmanteau movie. And as I say, the very first venture into the portmanteau genre. So if you're going to get this movie, get this edition by Fremantle Media. Yeah. Also jointly titled Have Fabulous Films. Yeah. So there you go. As I say, I think if you haven't seen this movie, I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it. And you know, Peter Cushing, he always delivers in roles of this nature, you know, and he's very, very sort of like say cool, calm, and collected, but at the same time, he's very, very sinister when he deals the cards out and that. And I love the expressions on the passenger's face, you know, when he deals the card out to the next person and that, you know, it's your turn now and all that, you know, and you look at that and he take the card and that, you know, and then their story unfolds as is usually the case with you know, portmanteau movies of this kind and that. And you know, you wonder to yourself, well, when I first watched this movie and I saw this stellar cast, I wondered to myself, oh, I wonder what this guy's story is going to be. You know, oh yeah, this is a great one. This is one of the best horror anthos, guys. Dr. Terror's House of Horrors, yeah. Fantastic, yeah. Directed by Freddie Francis, screenplay by Milton Subotsky, produced by Milton Subotsky and Max J. Rosenberg, yeah. Okay then, guys, that concludes my review of the 1964 Hammer portmanteau classic, Dr. Terror's House of Horrors. Have you seen this movie? What did you think of it? Do you love it as much as I do? Leave your comments down below. I'd be very interested. Oh, I could talk about horror anthologies till the cows come home. You know, one of my favourite subgenres in the horror field is the horror anthology movies. Yeah. Okay then, guys, that's it. Hope you enjoyed the video. And the usual, if you like it, you know, please feel free to share, subscribe, comments, and all going well. I'll talk to you all again very, very soon in the next video. Ta-ta for now.